To our beloved professor, Ma'am Lourdes Torno, to all the professors and all the students, a pleasant day to all of us. I am Kale Zebrine O. Santa Isabel from the third group of researchers to present our findings in a research entitled An Exploration on Influencer Marketing through the Perspectives of Grade 11 Students of New Era University, school year 2020 to 2021. Let us all welcome Ms. Liza de la Peña.
Thank you, Ms. Kale. I will first discuss the first chapter of our study. This research was conducted to explore the phenomenon of influencer marketing through the perspectives of grade 11 students of New Era University, academic year 2020 to 2021. We conducted this research study to investigate, give information, and clear understanding about why and how influencer marketing affects the students' buying decision. Next. In order to attain a clear direction for this research, we came up with these three SOP questions. This question will provide important data for us researchers to gather the perspectives of our participants based on their real-life experience towards influencer marketing. Um, the significance of the findings in this inquiry will provide the students a greater understanding and awareness of their buying decisions. This research will also guide the parents on how they will handle and regulate their children's buying habits and decisions. Marketers can use the significant findings of this study to make thoughtful and wise decisions in creating marketing strategies. And for the future researchers, the results of this research can serve as their guide and reference for their future studies. From our reviewed literature, the theory underpinning this research is a two-step flow theory originally proposed by Paul Lazarus Joule, an American social researcher. This theory was used as the framework of the study because the term opinion leaders have been previously used to characterize SMIs in the literature review. Using the two-step flow theory, the phenomenon can be visualized as companies or brands representing the mass media. The SMIs symbolizing the opinion leaders and the public will be replaced by the SMIs followers. Let us all welcome Gamal Pano, our next presenter, to discuss Chapter 3.
Thank you, Liza. I will now discuss how we conducted our study to the respondents. For the research design, we chose phenomenology to help our study collect, interpret, and analyze interviewees' life experiences. The subjects, being the grade 11 students of New Era University, help us enlighten how social media influencers can affect their buying decisions and how conscious they are when it comes to this subject. We chose a purposive sampling technique because we wanted to purposely select senior high school students from NEU's grade 11 class based on their characteristics and their study objectives. And we devised these SOP questions to learn how they see sponsored posts and their experiences with various social media influencers, as well as whether they are influenced by them and if it affects their purchasing decisions. We also wanted to learn about their experiences since we felt it would be tremendously helpful in evaluating how these social media influencers influence them in real life. We also wanted to know how they felt about these SMIs and what are the reasons affected their decisions to follow, as well as the characteristics that influence their decisions to follow this social media influencer. These are the steps that we took during our data collection process. A recorder recorded the entire interview after the subjects agreed to have the Google Meet video conference recorded. Following the discussions, the recorder was carefully listened to in order to recollect the dialogues. And then, it was used to describe the dialogue in a document so that the words could be carefully evaluated. Then, to make it easier to organize the common themes of each interview, important topics were selected in group. Finally, in the following chapters, all of the common themes had been assimilated, identified, and examined in order. All of this was done virtually. We use We use qualitative coding to analyze the data that was collected from the 7 interviews. We use it to be able to easily organize, to identify and interpret concepts easily and find the relations between them. For the chapter 4, Elaine will now discuss.
Next, we will discuss the data we have collected from our respondents in the fourth chapter. We have presented our findings based on our 3 research questions to clearly answer the statements of the problem. We identified 12 themes in total. To discuss the themes, in the first research question, we have Miss Micaela.
Thanks, Elaine. The themes that I will be discussing is under the category of online encounters with SMIs, which answers our first SOP, what are experiences of the grade 11 students on social media influencers to their buying decisions. Next slide. For our theme 1, it was themed because the respondents identified particular variety of influencers they follow and are attracted, such as attraction to fashion, musician, gaming, and art SMIs. And that is why our first theme is different niches of influencers. The words under the codes are the keywords which the participants particularly stated why they are into or interested with these particular social media influencers. Next slide. Next slide we have theme 2. It was themed because the respondents identified a variety of particular social media platforms they use and usually encounter promoted posts, wherein it is one of the ways SMIs achieve influencer marketing. Under this are promotions through Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. And that is why our second theme is SMI's promotion of products through social media. Next slide, we have theme 3, SMI's influence on followers' buying decisions. It was themed because we saw different reasons why and how they are being influenced with their buying decisions. Being an impulsive buyer is the result of being persuaded on buying decisions because of eye-catching and trustworthy SMIs with products or brands endorsed, which participant 2 admitted. We also identified participants 6 and 7 being persuaded by SMIs on buying decisions which made them buy a lot. Lastly, dependent and independent with SMIs on buying decisions wherein participant 7 showed two sides as a dependent follower and independent consumer at the same time. Next slide. Next slide we have SMIs as an inspiration to followers. It was seen because some of the participants were inspired, including participant 3 who looks up to the way of living of SMIs, and them being the reason why this participant is motivated to leave because of being envious of having a stable mindset. Lastly, participant 7 gained comfort and was cheered up by the shared contents of SMIs followed. For the fifth and sixth themes, here's Gani.
For the team 5, SMIs being envied by their followers. Participant 2, 6, and 7 expressed feelings of envy toward the social media influencers they follow. Some of them mentioned that they had to put their social media accounts on hold for a while in order to relax. Participant 6 mentioned that when they watch their social media influencers' videos or blogs on various social media platforms, they become envious and are influenced to buy the things that a influencer shows in their blogs, such as decorative lights. For the team 6, increase of usage of social media due to the pandemic. Participant 3 and 4 stated that the pandemic gave them a chance to be more aware or inclined to their various social media influencers and make it now as a hobby. Another participant also said that in the midst of pandemic, they described purchasing products as a coping mechanism that necessitates greater time spent on social media in terms of interest in purchasing items. To discuss the two teams in the SOP2, let me call on Miss Elaine.
Thanks, Gami. With respect to the second SOP, we will discuss the factors and characteristics that attract the participants to SMIs. The seventh theme, entitled Inclination Towards SMIs, are statements that incline followers to follow SMIs. The four codes such as personality, content, knowledgeability, and authenticity further explain the particular characteristics that incline or attract the participants to the SMIs. Next. First, the code personality are statements or the participants which implied that they are attracted to SMIs because of their personality traits. Participant 4, for example, says that they are inclined to SMIs that treat their followers as friends rather than fans. Participant 5, on the other hand, says that personality and relatability is the first thing they consider when following SMIs. To further strengthen the theme, the participants 6 and 7 say that they are inclined to follow influencers who are nice, funny, bubbly, and casual. The second code, entitled Content, are statements which imply that they are inclined to SMIs because of their content. Participant 2 in particular says that they prefer SMIs who exert effort on their content they produce. On the other hand, Participant 3 says that they consider the content of the SMIs they follow as entertainment and therapy. Participant 4 explained that they look for content that is interesting, unique, pleasing to the eyes, and aligns with what they are interested in. To strengthen the said theme, below are some notable quotes from the respondents of this study. Thirdly, the code knowledgeability was another recurring theme, referring to statements that implied that they are inclined to SMIs who are knowledgeable because about the products that they promote. Participant 3 and 7 explained that they trust SMIs because they have proven and tested the products in their YouTube videos and therefore help them gain the trust of their followers. Participant 4 says that SMIs have an important role when it comes to buying products that are not familiar to them. The fourth code, authenticity, refers to the statements of the participants, which imply that they are inclined to SMIs because of them being genuine to their followers. Participant 2 explains that they are inclined to SMIs who are true to themselves and make sure that their followers will benefit from their content. Participant 3 says that they are inclined to SMIs that share their honest, transparent, open, and genuine opinions when promoting products. For the next four themes, I will now call on Miss Ariana.
The second essential theme, dislike against SMIs, discusses the eighth theme, inauthenticity, which are statements that imply that they dislike some SMIs because of their inauthenticity to their followers. Next slide. Participant 2 says that some of them are facing controversial issues and disappointment because of some scandals that are circulating on social media. Then participant 3 and 4 says that some social media influencers are doing the trend only to benefit themselves, deceiving their followers and sugarcoating their words. Next, please. The ninth theme, positive thoughts, are the statements which implied positive thoughts regarding the sponsored post of SMIs. Participant 1 and 2 explained that SMIs must entertain their followers with effort and promote their products and services not on quantity but with quality too. Participant 3 and 4, on the other hand, says that honest reviews and being audience friendly makes them trust SMIs to the fullest. The 10th theme, negative thoughts, are statements which implied negative thoughts regarding the sponsored posts of SMIs. Participant 1 said that SMIs that are on cam are funny, humble, and friendly, but their behavior changes off cam. Participant 4 and 5 explained that they are doing it for the sake of the business and paid products, but in reality, they were just two-faced individuals. The 11th theme, neutral thoughts, are statements which implied neutral thoughts regarding the sponsored post of SMI's participants. 1 and 4 said that they were not interested. They would not buy just because some SMIs recommended it, while participant 2 says that they consider their personal opinion when buying. They buy products when they need them, not because of the influence of SMIs. The 12th theme, curious and thoughts, are statements which implied curious thoughts regarding the sponsored post of SMIs. For example, participants 1 and 4 said that they are curious because of the content they make with the sponsored products. Sometimes they are unique gimmicks that are really enticing to watch. The participant 3, on the other hand, didn't have time to watch SMI's vlogs back then, just now because of the pandemic. For the additional information, Ms. Ree Jernar, Ashley Garcia, and Ree Velasco were the actual influencer that the participants mentioned in the interviews. Let us call on Ms. Kale.
Thank you, Ms. Ariana. We'll now move on to the chapter 5 of our research. We'll be discussing the conclusions or the most significant findings in the research that we conducted. We first concluded that not all markets or customers can be satisfied because customers have different interests that might affect their buying decisions. The participants have different tastes in the people they follow, in which these SMIs cater to their different needs or interests. Secondly, the participants do not only use one social media application, but there are many of them that SMIs can use in promoting products with different types of content. Through these experiences, the participants got to know these influences better as well as the products that they promote. We found out that the Instagram is the most used application by the participants when interacting with the SMIs, thus implying that this is the most effective application to implement the influencer marketing. Next is the fact that the followers both have positive and negative reactions and opinions regarding their experiences with the SMIs. Some felt inspired by the healthy lifestyle of the influencers in which they strive harder to achieve great things like them. Some are envious of the life of the said SMIs, making them feel sad and discontent. The pandemic has become a big the pandemic has become a big factor in these times with the buying decisions of the participants. The pandemic helped SMIs to influence the participants in terms of their buying decisions, which therefore makes the influencer marketing more effective in promoting products and services. The SMI's personality, content, authenticity, and knowledgeability makes them more likable to the participants, and the characteristics they dislike is inauthenticity and dishonesty. SMIs being authentic to the followers is effective in influencing the buying decisions of their followers, while being dishonest to them is ineffective in influencing the buying decisions of their followers. Lastly, there are some followers who are not aware of the laws and the regulations that the government set in order for them to be knowledgeable about the dilemma of some SMIs not disclosing information about their sponsored posts. For the recommendations, I'd like to introduce Ms. Cheska Manlangi.
Thank you, Kale. Now I will be discussing the recommendation of our Chapter 5. The outcomes of this study will be important to groups of people who are active in the phenomenon of influencer marketing, such as students, their parents, future researchers, and marketers who use and will use SMIs. First, students should think before they click. The students must be mindful of their buying behavior, rethink how they see these SMIs and sponsored posts, and be cautious of the influence that these influencers might have on them. In order for students to be a wise buyer, parents must be aware of SMIs that their children follow on social media. A sponsored post from SMIs may fool them negatively, affecting their purchasing behavior. Marketers must strive to promote their products effectively and efficiently. They must carefully choose SMIs to market their products. The SMIs they recruit must be honest, trustworthy, and likable, as these are the most common qualities discovered in our research. For future researchers, the researchers are unable to choose a larger number of samples due to time constraints and the necessity to adhere to health guidelines. The outcomes of our research study will be useful to future researchers investigating this topic. Lastly, future researchers may want to look at the behavior of SMIs and how inauthenticity can make product marketing unsuccessful.
And that ends our video presentation for our research project entitled An Exploration on Influencer Marketing through the Perspectives of Grade 11 Students of New Era University, School Year 2020-2021. Thank you for your time. My name is Elaine Branya.
And I am Gamaliel Fano.
I'm Micaela Lugo.
I'm Liza May P. de la Peña.
I'm Chadkarin Manlangit.
I am Ariana Dordas.
And I am Kale Brian Santa Isabel. And
we are the researchers
We are the
from Group 3 of Grade 11 ABM3.